Chapter 4: Intellectual Prowess. We are what we are according to our state of thinking. Raymond Hollowell. We each have in our conscious mind 5 senses that help us understand the world. We can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. These are amazing tools to experience our surroundings, and they are one means by which we enjoy our physical being. That being said, they are also very limited. By our conditioning, we often let them guide us and control our whole experience of the world, when they really only account for a small piece of it all. In addition to these basic senses, we also have a higher skill set, which are our 6 intellectual faculties, or tools of the mind. They are imagination, intuition, will, memory, reason, and perception. Everybody is endowed with these incredible gifts of infinite intelligence, but very few people have any understanding of how to use them to create the life of their dreams. Often when people are using them, they are doing so unconsciously. They do not actually feel it or even realize it occurred. We all possess the same higher faculties, and when you put them to use, you can produce extraordinary results that separate you from the masses. From an early age, children have been taught to respond to outside forces. They are constantly being told to listen up and look out. In other words, they are taught to only trust what comes through their senses. It's easy to see how this becomes the model for life, where only present results are taken into account. The truth is, all present results are nothing more than a record of past actions. Unfortunately, most people live their lives controlled by this paradigm of what has been. As you understand more about your higher intellectual faculties, you will be able to use them much more effectively to your benefit, and if you choose, to guarantee phenomenal future performance. Your highest function is thinking. In fact, it is what makes humans the highest form of creation on Earth. With your mental toolbox, you will be able to enjoy the life of your dreams. Your own limits, those you place on yourself, are the only things standing in your way. Your potential is infinite, and you are connected to an infinite source of supply. You have only scratched the surface of your capabilities. It only takes a small amount of observation of the world around us to see the higher intellectual faculties in action. There are those people who formed an idea in their imagination, trusted their intuition, focused their will, remembered everything they needed, reasoned and discovered a better way, and perceived that it could in fact be done. They have brought us advancements in technology, access to goods and services, and have inspired others to do the same. They are just like you. You have the exact same source and the exact same mental toolbox. Your own mental limitations are the only difference. Let them go and let yourself shine. While we need our senses to process the outside world, as they are perfect for doing so, we can see that there is a whole world we've been missing. Through the development and use of our higher faculties, creating and sustaining our own unique expression is much easier and is a much greater gift to the world. Let's unpack these higher faculties in greater detail. Imagination. Our only limitation lies in our development and use of our imagination. Napoleon Hill. Imagination is where it all begins. Everything that exists in physical form first existed in the imagination, and so it is really created twice. The creative process, which is the basis for everything, starts with a fantasy, and fantasies are born in the imagination. If there were no imagination, there would be no creation. Your imagination is the spark that sets source energy into motion. There are 2 aspects to the imaginative faculty. Number 1, synthetic imagination. Synthetic imagination is the force that draws upon all manner of resources that already exist. It uses its power to rearrange and repurpose concepts, ideas, and plans into new and improved outputs. It is very useful, and it magnifies the power of various elements into a stronger, unified whole. This is what most of us use when working through ideas. We are tapping into the legacy of knowledge that has been left for us by every person who has walked the earth. Let's say you want to plant a garden. You are using synthetic imagination to select a location, lay out a workable plan, and use tools to dig, plant, and water. All of the resources necessary are already known, and you have put them to use in a new way to shape the garden you imagined. Number 2, creative imagination. Creative imagination is the power of infinite intelligence. It can turn a simple thought into anything. It is this creative power that is tuned into the universal subconscious mind and into the subconscious mind of others who are tuned into your vibration. Your focused desire gives it fuel and helps to draw this image out of your mind. Intuition. Freedom is from within. Frank Lloyd Wright. Intuition, your intuitive factor, is your ability to pick up vibrations and interpret those vibrations in your mind. It is your guide, your gut instinct, and is often referred to as your sixth sense. It is not a sense at all, but one of your higher faculties that you can develop and grow. With it, you can tune into another person's emotional and mental states. Intuition taps into the feeling of your future self, your connection to infinite intelligence. Practice using your intuition when you hear the voice inside, the one that you sometimes second guess and dismiss. Begin to feel it and listen, knowing that intuition connects you to source energy, and that when it speaks, it has something worth saying. Trust it when something feels right, and when something feels a little off. The more you practice using it, the more robust it becomes, and the more you experience life on a more expansive level. Will. The true power of the gift of the will lies not in its ability to affect, but in its ability to attract. Sandy Gallagher. Will is the ability to focus and concentrate. In developing your will, you can learn to hold one image in your mind while excluding all outside distractions. With practice, your focus will get stronger. The will is to the mind as a magnifying glass is to the sun, able to focus all of the light down to one point. Combine will with the laws of vibration, transmutation, and attraction, and it is really your superpower of attraction. You attract what you focus on and that which you are harmonious with. By developing and using the will, you speed up the vibration you are in and attract the exact image you hold in your subconscious mind. There are many ways to train the will and improve your concentration. A very simple one is to focus on a small point on the wall opposite to where you are sitting in a room. As your mind wanders, simply bring it back to focus on the one point. Do this over and over again. Eventually, you will become one with the point. With ongoing practice, you will be able to do this for extended periods of time and build your concentration so that you can apply it and focus on anything you wish. Memory. Past results are not a guarantee of future performance. Bob Proctor. Memory is how we encode, store, retain, and recall information or experiences. Like all of our higher faculties, it is perfect and can be strengthened with practice and exercise. No memory is bad or good, but rather weak or strong. Being forgetful is not a function of recall, but rather the result of not having remembered something in the first place. There are tools available to build and train your memory in various ways, like learning to memorize whole books or developing photographic recall of people's names. For most of them, the process involves association, usually ridiculous association, that creates pictures in your mind, which are very easy to remember. For example, if you want to remember someone's name, you can use a substitute word technique based on the sounds of the name and then associate those to facial features or physical characteristics that are most prominent. Using Jay Billig, you might picture a blue jay with a duck bill chomping its leg. That may be enough, but if not, you might notice the blue eyes and a quacking voice to add to the ridiculous picture. You can do this with anyone and anything. If you decide to strengthen your memory by creating pictures and associations, you will quickly amaze yourself with your newfound skills. Reason. Realize the perspective from which reality is your servant and not your master. Story waters. Reason is the tool that allows us to think. We have the ability to originate thoughts and coalesce them to form ideas. The superpower strength it gives us is our ability to choose. We have the power of self-observation, and we have the ability to create new ideas of how we can do things better the next time, continually improving ourselves and our results. It is with reason that we can also choose which thoughts to think and which ideas to take in. Developing your reasoning faculty will also help you better decode which thoughts are positive and which are negative, thereby focusing on the positive and creating ideas on why or how things can be done. A great exercise any individual, or even better, any group, can use to develop the reasoning factor goes like this. To start, when you are dealing with something that seems impossible on the surface, write out the big idea on the top of a piece of paper and put a line under it. Draw another line down the middle of the page, creating a T with the first line. Next, in the space that is created on the left column of the T, draw a giant X to fill the entire space. In this column goes every reason why the thing cannot be done. Since there is no place to write it down, it is not possible to even entertain the idea of it. Every time someone offers a reason why it cannot be done, say next and skip that reason. Finally, be open and listen for all the reasons why it can be done. And in the column on the right, write down every idea and reason that fits the bill. As you or the group engage in this exercise, there are no ideas that are too out there. Consider all your options. Continue to brainstorm yes ideas and continue to next all the no ideas until you come up with what is workable to achieve the objective you identified at the top of the page. Finally, commit to execute on the ideas that are laid out in front of you and get to work on it. Perception. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Wayne Dyer. Perception is our perspective, our point of view, or how we see things. With this faculty, we can change the way we look at any situation we are involved in, whether we see it as positive or negative. You can recognize that there is always another perspective. When you run into obstacles, you may be able to easily overcome them by simply shifting your perspective on how you view them. Your perception of something affects whether it shows up as big or small. Take a problem that feels insurmountable and write it on a small piece of paper. When you hold it in your hand, you see it as something huge that you are faced with, and it weighs you down. Now place it on the table in front of you and step away to look at the piece of paper from a distance. Do you see the problem or just the paper? If you are still seeing the problem, go to the other side of the table and try a different view, a different perspective. Eventually, you won't be able to see the problem and it won't seem so huge anymore. Shifting your perspective shifts the whole world. Putting them together. All of your higher intellectual faculties, your mental muscles or mind toolbox, work together to make you the powerhouse of the planet. Your ability to think is what sets you apart from the rest of the animal world. When you understand the power locked up inside you, it will become clear that you really have been given the keys to the kingdom. And when you begin to use your muscles, there is literally nothing you cannot achieve. The mind works in a cycle, in rhythm. Most people's standard rhythm goes like this. You look at your current results and let them register in your conscious mind, which causes you to think. This thinking is then impressed, completely by accident because of a lack of conscious awareness, onto the subconscious mind, which produces a feeling. This feeling automatically causes actions that are in the same vibration as the feeling, and the actions produce results, the same results. This rhythm is the story told by the vast majority of people. It is how they keep getting the same results over and over again, year after year. It takes courage to look at yourself objectively and observe your results in a way that a stranger might see them. Be courageous and get in the driver's seat. When you do this, you will observe things you do not want. Welcome that feeling of dissatisfaction and then ask yourself, what do I want? Think thoughts and ideas that will form the image of what you do want. This is how you put yourself into a new rhythm, by inserting new thoughts from the place of your goals. Here's what that looks like. Look at your current results and let them register in your conscious mind, causing you to think. This thinking is then impressed purposely because your conscious awareness has been elevated onto the subconscious mind, which produces a feeling. This feeling automatically causes actions that are in the same vibration as the feeling, and the actions produce results, measurably new results. Observe the new results and start again to think new thoughts of what could be done to make it even better. These new thoughts cause the feelings, which cause the actions, which produce the results. New results in harmony with the vibration of your feelings about your new thoughts. This new rhythm has you continually observing new results and adding new thoughts that create ideas to improve upon them. You are now controlling the outside world. You are the driver of your own bus. With a growing understanding of your intellectual faculties and the picture of your mind, you are now able to see yourself in what seems like a totally different mirror, and you are creating the life of your dreams. Once you grasp the power of your thoughts and your vibrations and experience your improved results, you can begin to trust yourself more and more. In turn, it will contribute to developing a strong, confident self-image that will help you achieve more goals and actualize more dreams. We will explore this self-image more in the next chapter.